responsibly before investing.
123 points on the Nifty, 18,620 is where we're comfortable on the Nifty. The Nifty bank sitting very comfortably above that 44,400 mark as well, had hit a record high this morning itself. But let's talk about a bunch of numbers. Seems to be a bit of a hospital special on halftime report today. We spoke with the management of Shalby moments ago, but now after the short break, we have with us the management of Medanta itself. The company reported their numbers, posted a good set in the fourth quarter, highest ever quarterly income. Do note the numbers, of course, are higher on a lower base as well. But the bigger question is, how do they perform going forward from here? And for that, we have Pankaj Sahni, who's the group CEO at Global Health, which is popularly known as Medanta, joining in. Thanks a lot, Pankaj, for joining in. Just wanted to know a couple of things in terms of your numbers. FY24, what kind of guidance can you give in terms of occupancy? It was 58%. You said that for multi-specialty hospitals, it can go all the way up to 70%. And the international business, that has risen, but it's still about 6% of sales versus 11% pre-COVID. How is that likely to pan out? So occupancy and international business, what trends are you seeing?
So if you look at our absolute volumes, you'll find that we've grown our inpatient volumes over the course of the year about 32%. And we see strong trajectory on that continuing across our units, both in Gurgaon, as well as our mature hospitals, Gurgaon, Indore and Ranchi, as well as our growing hospitals in Lucknow and Patna. So we see very strong growth coming in. Important to understand from an occupancy point of view, we've added almost 300 beds this year. So the denominator keeps shifting. So for us as a growing hospital with bed additions happening almost every quarter and every year, a more appropriate metric would be to look at our inpatient volumes, which I mentioned are growing fairly well. When you look at our growth coming into the subsequent year, FY24, we feel confident about that growth to continue. We will be adding beds in Lucknow. We will be adding beds in Gurgaon, in Patna as well. And in fact, our Patna facility has been able to deliver EBITDA break even within just 1 year of complete operation. So we feel fairly confident about our prospects as we move forward. Also keep in mind, over the course of the year, we've added in about 150 senior doctors across the group. Like I mentioned, 300 beds added in across the group. So all of that will see us into the financial year 24. And then beyond as well, when we look at the subsequent years into FY25 and beyond, we have our Noida facility, which will come on board. That will be about 550 beds. So the network at about 2,700 beds today, scaling up to almost 4,000 beds over the course of the next couple of years across the 6 hospitals that we have. We feel fairly confident that our growth trajectory in a secure, stable manner is well on track.
And international business, you didn't give us some more color on that. It's 6% of your sales. Post-COVID, I presume it would improve a lot more. Pre-COVID, it was 11%. When does it go there?
So if you look at our international business, pre-COVID, you found that that was about 11%. Over the course of the COVID dip, we've seen that reduce a little bit. We find actually that those numbers on a revenue basis in our last quarter actually surpassing on an absolute basis what we had in our pre-COVID time. Important, however, to understand that much of our international business does come in our Gurgaon facility. So when you start to look at Lucknow and Patna, they have a little bit lower international volume. So as those units come in across the group, there may be some differences on percentage basis. But on an absolute volume as well as revenue basis, we are seeing international business continue to grow. With the renewed focus on international business for the country as a whole, we expect that to continue. And we are hopeful that that will cross into the 10% range as we move forward.
Okay, that's great to hear. In fact, in your developing hospitals like Lucknow and Patna, you've not been there for more than even 6 years and the growth is pretty rapid. So it just goes to show that a lot of the underserved areas are growing in a big way, right? I mean, just for example, in FY23, your developing hospitals revenue went up almost 83% and EBITDA was up 170%. So a two-part question here. Is this a run rate that you can sustain in these 2 hospitals? And which are the other underserved areas where you think you'd perhaps want to put up hospitals in the near future, in order to sort of capitalize on that opportunity?
Absolutely. We've seen Lucknow deliver fantastic results in a short period of time. And like I mentioned earlier, even our Patna facility being able to deliver EBITDA break even in its first full year of operation. So while there's a common perception that these markets may be less attractive, we have not seen that. We've seen very strong growth in volumes, revenues, high ARPOBs as well, especially for these areas, both in Lucknow as well as in Patna. And we've been really able to deliver very high complexity of work. So the quality of clinical talent that we're able to acquire into these units and the kind of work that we've been able to do is second to none really across the country. So this has been a unique feature of the Medanta model of care. We have very high quality, high-end and large-scale facilities in these underserved areas. And we feel fairly confident about their growth going forward, not only in Lucknow and Patna, but some of the other areas that we are looking at as well. And also important to understand that when we consider underserved from a healthcare point of view, it doesn't necessarily only mean underserved on your typical macroeconomic factors. There are many countries, many cities, many states where you find good macroeconomic factors, but frankly underserved on the healthcare point of view and really underserved at the kind of quality of care that Medanta is able to provide. So we are actively looking at these cities, actively looking at these states, and you will hear more about that as we move forward.
Okay, just one quick question. You have cash on your books, so just want to understand, almost 500 crores. Is large part of this going to go in for organic growth itself, or are you looking for any inorganic growth? And what is the Capex plan?
Well, all options are open to us, both organic as well as inorganic. We do have organic growth coming in with our Noida facility under construction as we speak. That's going very well. Some amount of capex over the course of the next year or so will go towards that. Almost about 200 crores plus capex will go towards our Noida facility. We are also looking at certain other facilities. We've announced a partnership in Indore for a 350-bed facility there. So we will look at that. And really all options are on the table. The most important thing though for us is to make sure that whatever we do is always done at the highest quality and the highest clinical standard. We are not in a hurry to go out there and either acquire or build out hospitals just for the sake of ticking the box. We want to make sure that everything that we do is deliberate at the highest quality and with the right values and ethics.
And this is beyond north as well, right? Because that's where most of your hospitals are right now. So when you say all options are on the table, you're looking at geographies beyond the north of India as well?
Absolutely. We already have a facility in Indore in central India. We've been in conversations with various parties about different states across the country. So like I said, all options on the cards across the country.
Wish you good luck. Thank you so much for joining in and giving us those outlooks. The thing that stands out for me is 2,700 bed hospital chain going into 4,000 in the next couple of years. So obviously occupancy and all the other numbers will follow as well. Thank you for joining in. Wish you good luck. Take a short break. On the other side, we have CS Muralidharan, who's the Group CFO of Sun Pharma, to discuss their fourth quarter performance.